located on Main Avenue, Mr. Higginbotham.
Yes, sir. This pertains to the, what we consider the trestle property, what you all had voted to move forward with, selling to Mr. Todd Palmer, in an earlier meeting. That is a process that takes a few months to complete. I do know Mr. Palmer is currently working through his, designs and layouts for his property. As part of that process, he will need to go forward with the Zoning Board of Adjustment. Because we currently own the property, and when this goes on through the process, we will still be the owner of the property. It is required by law that we are actually the petitioner. So in reality, what we are doing is serving as the applicant because we're the owner asking for the variances. But it's basically pertaining to the work that Mr. Palmer is planning on doing once the sale is complete.
Thank you. I'll make a motion to adopt that resolution authorizing the city administrator's office to apply for the variances for the city-owned property located on Main Avenue, and authorizing Todd Palmer and or his designated engineering firm to act as the agent representing the city before the Zoning Board of Adjustments regarding said variances. That's in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item C is our consent agenda. We have numerous items. We've got 29 of them. They range from minutes of the previous meeting, bill listings, and travel and training. One in particular, I wanted to call on Joseph Rhodes if he's available. We had a really good, some really good news coming out of his office regarding our workman's comp savings that we've done. So Joseph, I'll let you kind of give everybody an update.
Yes, sir. This PO requisition is up for y'all to vote on tonight. The amount is $334,757, and that would be our 2019 workers' comp premium. And just to kind of put this in perspective of where we were and where we are today, after we've changed some policies, purchased the garbage carts through y'all's leadership. In 2016, at our highest, we were at $793,432 for our annual premium. We kind of dipped down to $771, $081 in 17. 18 last year, we had about $140,000 discount, and this year we're down $299,000 and change. So we have more than cut in half our workers' comp premium due to three things, really: our policy change, purchase of the garbage carts, and our employees working a lot safer as well. So it's a combined effort between leadership, policy change, and employees actually doing a safer job every day.
Yeah, we were very happy to hear that. You went from $793 in 2016 to $334.
Yes, sir.
2 years. And just by investing in garbage carts and working safety. I know, Councilman Roberts, you made a pretty good point. I don't know if you want to make that publicly again, but we can kind of do the further the
challenge for the so we it's great news, right? But we always like to go further, and I talked to Joseph about that. So now I've challenged him to start taking a look at near misses instead of actual incidents. So he's accepted that challenge, I hope. But that kind of benefit to the budget is huge when you talk about $40 million, and I don't think if anybody here understands, our paving budget each year is only $500,000. So this cut in the premium is almost 2/3 of that particular budget. So. That's
right.
Well, and it also you've almost paid for your investment on the carts themselves, and the next thing will be paying for the additional trucks we had to buy, which we should be even on the carts and the trucks, hopefully by next year.
And hopefully as we move forward with the recycle program and how we keep this generating moving forward, we got a grant the first time. Maybe this helps as we can continue forward with our recycle program as well without affecting the budget.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic job by everybody that's included in this, the folks that are working out on the street, the staff members, and for beginning the program with the leadership.
Yep. Thank you, Joseph. I'll make a motion to approve that consent agenda as printed. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Davis,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
Councilman Hinton, Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 9, reports of special committees to council. If any member of council or the mayor's office wanted to give a report on their committee or give an update on their next scheduled meeting.
The retail committee should have an update by next council meeting.
All right. Item 10, public hearings. We have none on the agenda. Item 11, city administrator's business. Mr. Higginbotham.
I guess the only thing I have is the, what we discussed in, the pre-meeting, and that was we do need to be moving forward with, selecting a president pro tem. That was Rodney Sullivan's, role when he was here.
All right. Item 12, departmental business. We have none on the agenda. Item 13, public comment. We have 3 citizens signed to speak. I'll start with Ms. Kay Holden.
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year.
and thank you all for your great attention last year, and I want to start this year on the right foot. And I want y'all to know that I am a vice president on the Northwood Lake HOA Homeowners Association. We have over 762 residents directly under us, and we also try to look at the needs at some of our neighboring subdivisions, gardens, and estates. So with that, and Northwood Forest, with that, I have kind of taken on being the spokesperson for the community, and I receive lots of hits on the speeding, and it's gotten bad again. And Chief Burton has been fantastic at working with us, and he says just to contact him. I don't need to come to a meeting. But why I'm coming is because this is every other month. The speeders get really, it just increases significantly, and we have a lot of worried mothers out there. When we call Chief Burton, he is out there. They assign well over 20 to 30 tickets a hit, more than that, but within a week's time. So this is a problem that's not going away. We're not really sure what the answer is. Is it speed bumps? Is it signage? Is it me just calling Chief Burton every other month? But I want to come each time we start seeing this rise again, so you see that this is a significant problem, not just in our community. I'm out there on Facebook and working the social media, and I'm seeing it happen over in Huntington and Cedar Creek and all those. So I'm not sure what we're gonna do as a community, but I do know that it isn't gonna end up well if we can't keep coverage. So it may even be, we have to look at more coverage, more police presence, and what do we do as we start working in the next year towards that budget. So I just want to bring that to your attention, and Chief Burton, we are gonna need another presence out there. Union Chapel is the worst because it's the cut through. And on Union Chapel, we're noticing a lot of larger trucks. We have noticed 1 or 2 18-wheelers, but very large trucks. So is there something, who would I work with, can we get a restriction on Union Chapel for a certain size truck? Either axles, weight, whatever. So if you all can lead me in the right direction, and who do I need to speak to on that, that would be fantastic. Because that's our main concern too, is these trucks when they're barreling through there. Usually it's trucks, work trucks with loads. How are they gonna stop for our kids in the summer when our kids are crossing that road? So with that, and my last item is, and I'm sorry, 5121 Northwood Lake Drive West. It is a home that we were able to get condemned, and then Scott Stevens moved on. So who do I work with on that project, because it has been condemned by the city? So how do we keep this project moving in 2019?
Can I do this just because I did not ask you? Please state your name and address for the record.
I'm sorry. Kay Holden, 3010 Natchez Landing Court, Northport, Alabama.
All right, Ms. Holden, I'll defer a couple of them. I know Councilman Davis is his wheels are turning on a couple of them. I know we went through the condemnation process. It's almost, we just engaged Bruce's office. Wouldn't you agree, Councilman, just to?
Yes, President Logan, we did discuss that this morning in the Projects Committee meeting, and because of the absence of a planner, we're going to have to sign that to somebody, because I don't know what the process or where we process stopped in that.
That position hadn't been filled?
Well, as far as position, it has, but I will go back to the process on the condemnation.
Okay.
I think that myself, President Logan, I think that myself and President Councilman Hogg, we spoke about it at that meeting, and we said to hold off until we get in contact with that homeowner, and since then, we have made contact with him, the employees here at the city. So we'll follow up on that, and I'll give you a call to see where we are on that, where you can go back and tell your residents.
Okay. And that's just basically, like I said, I'll just come in and touch base when the speeding gets bad, because I do think, it's just a problem in Northport, and if we need to start bringing it to the light of the city council, because you may have to think about police presence, a larger police force. I know that that's difficult, but you know, we have to get these things. Now we need to look at them so we can prepare for future years. But I thank you and respect you all, and it's fantastic to work with you.
Thank you.
Ms. Holden.
Our next citizen is Mr. Stephen Schwab. Mr. Schwab, thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to all of you.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Stephen Schwab, 2520 5th Street, Northport. As I was looking at resolution number 5 under the resolutions of a temporary nature for the downtown sidewalk and streetscape improvement, I was wondering if that includes the traffic circles on 5th Street, Rice Mine Road that we have talked about in the past in terms of installing. That's an information question.
I think what you're asking for is that one is a particular ALDOT specific project, whereas
Right.
this one is that ALDOT project where we've gotten the money from ALDOT, where we're doing streetscaping downtown specific. So if you say City Cafe going south,
I see.
so the one you're referencing is basically an ALDOT driven project totally, where they're going in and doing that.
Right. Do we have a time frame for when that is going to take place, when that construction is going to begin?
I think ALDOT's been kind of jumping a little bit with their time frame on that one. They've given us a 2020, 2021. I'm not 100%. I'll defer to Bruce and John Powell Webb on that one, but I do know that they've started some preliminary survey work, some real preliminary design work on that one. They're starting from Bridge Avenue going west. So that should be, we initially had a 2019 completion, but I'll just say this, because you've got so much going on with ALDOT, i.e. the downtown project and some other things that they're doing, they might have pushed it back in their queue list, but I want to say 2020. Now, John, I didn't know if that sounds about right, but I do know there's a ways to go with some of the design and some other things that they've got to do.
I have one other question, and I have wondered about the traffic signals at 5th and Main, which are now operating better than they have in the past, but I have wondered why we couldn't have traffic signals, a traffic signal there identical to the traffic signals we have in Tuscaloosa along University Boulevard, where the pedestrians know exactly how many seconds they have to cross the intersection. It seems to me as though that's a safer mechanism than the one we currently have. And I don't know if you have to buy a whole system, whether they've done that in Tuscaloosa, or I know we only need one, we only have that one intersection there, but it seems to me that, and particularly in light of the accident that occurred to my friends, Ridge and Doris Marriott, my interest in that whole subject is somewhat heightened.
Yes, sir. I don't know if we can purchase those now that we've just kind of went through that, allocating some money to get that done. It may be to where we probably could integrate it in the ALDOT project later on. But I do know what you're talking about when you reference the actual time frame you do have when you cross the street, when you hit your pedestrian control switch.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Swap. Our next citizen is Mr. Chuck Gurdeau.
Thank you, President Logan. I'm Chuck Gurdeau, 3909 Northwood Lake Drive West, Northport. Had a couple of items I wanted to address you this evening, and thank you for having me up. First thing is, I think Ms. Holden has left. I did had a traffic study done in 2006 on Northwood Lake Drive West, and the average speed going through in front of my house, which is one of the first homes going into Northwood Lake, was 48 miles an hour. So yes, there's always been a speeding problem. I don't know what you do about it, but it's been there for a long time. So especially me coming out of my driveway, I have to be very careful because it's almost double the 25 mile an hour speed limit. I also want to thank Dr. Hinton for his service on the council. We appreciate you, and we thank you for serving. But the real reason I'm here tonight is for, I want to ask you about Heritage Days, which is it's done through the Tuscaloosa County Preservation Society. It will be April 27th, 28th, and 29th. And we have been asked, it'd be the Friends of Historic Northport, along with the Bicentennial Commission, to have the Shirley Place House open for that weekend. I know that's there's some possible work that may be done in the near future on the house, dealing with the basement and so forth. But I would like to get permission, if possible, to have the house open during that time. Would be a big thing for Northport, and also for the Bicentennial as one of our projects or things that we're doing during that time. So I'd like to ask for that, because this Thursday the Preservation Society will be making its final decisions, and I'm sorry I'm kind of coming late with that request. I did also want to say a couple things about Dickens Downtown, which is one of the best events we've had in many years in the downtown. It must have been 10,000, 12,000 people down there. And a special thank you to Brooke Starnes and to Public Works for all your help making that just a very successful event. And the last thing is, and I don't mind peddling while I'm up here, this is the Bicentennial shirt that has been completed and ready for sale. I want to show everybody the shirt. It has the hashtag Northport 200 on the front, and has the Northport Bicentennial logo on the back. They are ranging in, I think, sizes from large to 4X, and they're $20 a piece. And if you'd like to have one, you can see me, or you can call me on my cell phone at 310-1004. So that being said, I appreciate your time if you have any questions.
Chuck, what's the dates again that you need the Shirley? What's the dates you need the Shirley House?
It would be open the 27th, 28th, and 29th of April. If it was be possible, maybe have it a few days before and a few days after to prepare the home for visitors.
All right, let's do this real quick then. If you know that's what you're going to do, do you have a date when you want it previous before the 27th?
I'd say 1 week before, and then say 1 week after. One to prepare and one to clean up.
All right. Hey, Ron, what I'll do is, can we do this just like we done the Dickens, where we just give, let me do this. I'll make this in the form of motion to allow Friends of Historic Northport, in anticipation of the Heritage Days event, to allow Friends of Historic Northport to enter the building, operate the building for cleanup and for Heritage Days operations 1 week before Thursday, April 27th through the 29th, and 1 week after Heritage Days. And I guess in that motion. So that's in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
That's a second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Davis,
Yes.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
Councilman Hinton,
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
On the T-shirts, can you
Yes,
just
sir.
get with Whitney since she's on the committee, and just maybe the city can put it out there on our social media to say, hey, please see Chuck Godot, phone number,
Or the city.
or the city.
Right.
Yeah. we
We'll
can just,
do that.
yeah, we'll do that.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 14, Mayor and Council Members' Business. I'll start with District 1, Councilman Roberts.
Just a simple note, we've had a couple of people complaining about speeding and that, and I've probably done more work in the last couple of months, talking with Chief Burton, and it's unfortunate that, there aren't a lot of things we can do for speeding. We can hand out tickets, but people will continue to speed. I think when I talked to Ms. Starnes, putting up a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit just means they know how much faster they're going than the speed limit when they go by it. I don't know the answer. I know that Ms. Starnes had provided me a lot of information on speed bumps and stop signs. All those do are they either slow down emergency response or in some cases people actually jackrabbit between stop signs, making things worse. I don't know how we do this. This is a cultural issue now where I actually was shocked when I moved here and found that people just regularly go through red lights, which other areas, I've not seen that. So I don't know the answer. I know that putting speed bumps and stop signs in the neighborhoods doesn't work either. So I know that puts a lot of emphasis on chief and manpower to have to go out and do these things. But the only thing I can say is that if you have kids or parents or grandparents at speed, tell them to stop. I just don't know how else to do this.
All right, thank you, Councilman. Any further business? District 2 under my business, want to thank Public Works. They've been just amazing during our holiday seasons. I know we've been just had a real busy Christmas and Thanksgiving and New Year's, but they performed really well and had a lot of good compliments. And I also wanted to give an MLK update. I see Russ Ware and his team are from BKI. So Russ, if you'll come up, give a quick update on MLK, where we are with it, and then maybe Charlie Shirley, Union Chapel, respectively.
Good evening. As far as MLK goes, we've submitted 30% plans to the DOT and have received comments back from them, and we are addressing those now. So we're moving towards that 60% complete on design. We are also still working with the environmental document, trying to get it submitted as soon as possible. So all that's kind of going on at the same time with MLK. With Charlie Shirley, we are about the 90% complete on design on that project, and starting to look at some utility relocations and things like that. So with both jobs, they're moving fairly well.
Yeah, I'll also point to that our staff's been working hard. I know Russ is working on, your team is working on it, so we're getting ready to submit the environmental documentation process. Once that's done, we'll go through the design process again, and I guess we're kind of not at AlDOT's mercy, but we kind of will start working with AlDOT a little bit more closer, and then we can move toward the next phase in the project.
That's correct.
So it's coming along.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all the business I have. District 3, new Councilman Hinton.
None tonight.
All right. That is your one free pass. District 4, Councilman Davis.
I'd just like to welcome Dr. Hinton aboard. Councilman Hinton, excuse me. I've been saying Dr. Hinton for about 50 years. It's going to be hard, but welcome aboard, and I look forward to working with you. That's all I have.
Thank you. District 5, Councilman Hogg.
I also want to welcome Councilman Hinton to our council, and looking forward to working with you over the next, I guess, less than 2 years now for the rest of this term. So appreciate you filling in, and big shoes to fill from Rodney Sullivan's seat, but we do appreciate your leadership on this board. I also want to echo what Joseph Rose had talked about earlier with our workers' comp plan. Being in the insurance business myself, there are a lot of different precautions that you can take to lessen your risk, and City of Northport, its leaders have done that with the leadership of Mayor Aaron, and we have taken those steps to try to do things and make a safer environment for our employees. Public Works, all of the employees that we have done a great job in trying to lessen that as well. So, those are real numbers, going from high 7s to the low to mid 3s. That's real money right there. So that allows us to do more here in our city for our citizens, and also just make sure that we are continuing to act in a safe environment for our employees. So I really appreciate everyone's help on, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. The Honorable Mayor Donna Aaron.
In addition to Public Works with Dickens Downtown, Chief Burton and Chief Marshall also played instrumental part. Directing traffic and keeping things people going and moving and making it also safe. But downtown always looks so well with Public Works. So do the right-of-ways down pt2 that I travel regularly. I also would like to welcome aboard Dr. Hinton, and it's going to be hard for me to call him Councilman Hinton. When I had many years of working with him, I called him Dr. Hinton, and he was my boss. But that was nice. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mayor. Item 15, executive session. Ron, I think you've asked to call an executive session to discuss proposed economic development. Do you have a time frame when the session should end? Say 6. Okay. Also, Bruce, I don't know if you needed staff. If not,
No, sir.
okay.